Is that you take it out in a radio car with you?
Everybody's a partner. When you get promoted, when you get promoted, no one else will ride around you. I'll see you later.
Good seeing you. We went to college together. He's a young deputy here now. He's back as a sergeant. He's a good kid.
Yeah.
And so when we got to Hollenbeck, Ron Lewis, who was their lieutenant in charge of Homicide Bureau, when I walked in, he says, "Gil, he's back there in the room. It's all yours. Whatever you guys call the shots. It's your case." They knew.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a day. It was a trip.
Would you call that a highlight for you in the career-wise?
The case?
Yeah.
Oh, by far. I mean, take that case away from me, and I'm just another overweight old Mexican. You know, I had there was a guy named Aiden Pardmore, and he interviewed me in some soundproof room with some kind of special lines from. They were doing something for the BBC.
Okay.
And matter of fact, they did a documentary, but it didn't air here, and it was called Super Sleuth. It was about a young Hispanic investigator, me, that had a theory that nobody else believed in, and showed how my wife moved out, and things happened. So it was a decent piece from a family standpoint. But he asked me, he says, "Gilbert," he says, "has this case made an impact on you? Has it impacted your life?" And I started laughing. He says, "No, I'm quite serious. It's the last question." And I said, "Aiden," I said, "you take that case away from me, and you're not spending thousands of dollars talking to some investigator across the world." I said, "You take it away from me, and I'm just another overweight Mexican cop." And he says, "I see your point."
So 25 years later, after that day, do you have any, some words or a statement you like to say about that, how you feel about it today, looking back?
Oh, I have. It was a highlight. John McCain talked about being a prisoner of war. He's glad he went through it, but he wouldn't recommend it for anybody. It was an experience.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that about war. There are no winners in war. Everybody loses. It was a great experience for me. I hate to see other people have to go through it. This case, I am glad that I was on it. I'm glad I had the role that I did. I told my partner he probably would have had me about 2 weeks more before I'd have gone completely nuts.
Really?
Yeah, it was stressed me out. On July 7th at 3:30 in the morning, my family wasn't living, they were gone most of the time now, and I woke up in a cold sweat. I was nauseated, and I'm having nightmares where subconsciously I think I hear somebody in the house. I think it's him. So I grabbed my gun. That I had never slept with a gun on my nightstand, and I don't do it anymore. I told my wife, "Don't come home right now during the middle of the night, because I've got my gun out, and I don't want to wake up and shoot somebody accidentally. Just don't come home unannounced." And so at 3:30 in the morning, I wake up, and I grab my gun, and I look at the clock, because as a homicide cop, first thing I become accustomed to doing right away is, what time is it?
Timeline.
Just for documenting.
Yeah.
Timeline.
Yeah.
I look, it's 3:30 in the morning. I'm saying, "God damn, what's he doing?" And I can't call the cops, even though it's sheriff's jurisdiction where I live. I can't call them because they're going to say the guy's nuts. I don't see anything. I just maybe hear something, and I'm a cop. So I grabbed my gun, and I walked around, and I cleared every room in my house, just like if I were clearing a burglary.
Right.
I cleared it, put my gun down. To the point I'm ready to vomit. I am so nervous, so scared, and I'm saying, "God, this guy is," and I recognize this guy's killing me.
Yeah.
And I put it on Channel 5. There was a John Wayne movie. John Wayne was my hero. Channel 5, 3:30 in the morning. Anybody wants to, could check the records. It's whatever it was, it's on. My phone rings, and I'm about dying. It's, Jesus, and I, what is it? And they said, call Linda Arthur at home. Linda Arthur was a photographer. She was a deputy. She was a friend of mine. Her husband, who went through the academy with me, we were very good friends. We used to play ball together. We used to double date. He had been murdered June 1st, just 1 month before. She calls up, and I call her up, I said, what is it? She says, there's a lady across the street that just got raped. I think it's maybe part of what you're working on. I think you ought to come down here. Now, I went down there because my friend was calling me. I didn't know if it had anything to do with what I was doing. I didn't know if she was wound up in the emotion of her husband being murdered.
Sure.
She's gone to some of these cases with me. Is this all what's going on? I went down there. The bottom line, it was Sophie Dickman. She was a surviving rape victim, and
Wow.
so I said that he'd have had me for about 2 more weeks, maybe. That would have been my capacity, because I was just the exhaustion, and it had to be playing with my mind, as it was the morning of his arrest. We are inside our office, and we have a surveillance team, and they bring in an informant, this guy we've been looking for, because we found his name, and we knew he had been capering with Richard before all of this happened,
Right.
before the murders.
Yeah.
So we found him, and they brought him into us. Now they brought him in, and it was Mike Griggs and his partner that brought him in, and they started talking, and they said, hey, Gil, Frank, you know, this guy's important. This is somebody that you guys should be interviewing, not us, because he's got first-hand info on your case. And we said, sounds good. And I talked to Frank. I said, Frank, you know, it's 1 in the morning. We're tired. We need to go home and get some rest. Let's get some sleep. We go home. Guy lives in El Monte. I'll give him a ride home. I'll take him back to El Monte. I said, and then we come back at noon tomorrow.
Gonna throw it away.
That way, we can do this interview the right way. Give it its. And he says, good idea. So I said, let's just go in and introduce ourselves, talk briefly, and then we'll split. He says, sounds good. So we go in there, introduce ourselves, talk to him. Come on in. Hey, what's up? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Good, good.
Hello.
Hi, sir.
How's your uglier brother?
I got a couple of them.
Oh, no.
And they're both doing fine.
Now, he went to work for Tanaka, didn't he? Or
Yeah. Well,
how's
he was down there, and then Tanaka sent him over to CJ. He was the ops lieutenant over there now.
Oh, is he?
Hopefully he gets that other, you know.
Oh, yeah, he'll get the other one pretty soon.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Everything going all right?
Any better, I'd be a twin, brother. Tell your brother I said hi.
Deputy Carrillo, yes, county traffic. Deputy Carrillo, yes, county traffic.
Thank you.
You have to go, sir.
No, that's not me. That's
Okay.
There's a deputy crew.
Got it.
They
Not lieutenant. Okay.
so we split up, and I took the guy home. But before taking him home, I sat there and said, "Okay, show me where we might be hanging out. Show me where he's at." So we went driving up and down the streets of L.A.
What did he show you?
Well, he just showed me what areas. You know, okay, he might hang out over here. He might be over here, and it's just the Skid Row area.
Any specific streets or anything that he
No,
showed
just
you?
right around.
Just all around that area.
All around
Okay.
the area.
Yeah.
And couldn't find him. Well, it's not till I don't get home. By the time I do this, I mean, we're exhausted. But yet, come on, let's go. Let's go. And so I don't get home till 4:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
you know. And then I'm back out on the streets at 8 o'clock that morning because I was already at Industry Station when they called me up about his arrest.
Right.
I was already up and out.
Yeah. Well, you never stopped.
No, I was just driven. That's why I said I would have had maybe 2 more weeks, not ahead.
Driven to your limit, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
And as it was, the night of morning of his arrest, my wife, who's a church-going, God-fearing lady, I'm the devil, she's the angel. You know the cartoon, the devil, she says, oh, no, no, no. And I'm saying, do it, do it, do it.
Yeah.
So I call her up in the morning, and I said, it's over with.
Wow.
It's over with. He's in custody. And she said, what do you mean he's in custody? Why isn't he dead? You know, he'd caused havoc in my family. They
Yeah.
moved out on August the 8th, she moved out permanently. She said, "Hey, I'm gone. We're not coming back until this is over with."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she didn't come back until after. And then August 31st, the day of his arrest, my cousin was getting married. And they had a big deal at the Pasadena Hilton, and my kids were involved in it. And I just said, just go to the wedding, and I'll catch up with you later. Get a hotel room. We'll spend the night there. So I got there that evening, and when I got there, I have 6 sisters, one of which, one of my younger ones, her and I were never, we were like, she was always an outcast almost, you know, she didn't go, if I said white, she'd say, no, I like black. We were just opposites. And she sees me walking in from the outside, and she walks up to me, and she puts her arm around, she says, oh, I'm walking in with you. And I said, what do you mean, why the sudden change? And she says, oh, you wait till you get inside, you're talking to town. I walked in, and I saw my mom and my sisters, and they came up, we just started crying. It's over. So I cried. I said, where's my wife? And I said, she's up in the room. So I said, go call her. They brought her down. She came down, and it was over. I walked up to the bar, and I said, let me have a drink. And somebody said, I'll buy you a drink. And the bartender said, and I'll tell you something else. He says, your money's not, if you don't have a sponsor, he says, the bar's your sponsor. So I went up, saw my cousins, and then I told my wife, you know, I said, you know what, I'm going to bed. It's my cousin's wedding night, and I'm drawing too much attention.
Right.
It's his night. It's not my night. I just want to go to bed. I'm tired. So I took my daughter. She was about 13 years old. And she says, Dad, I want to go to bed too. I said, all right, let's go. So we went up to the room, and she got her pajamas on, and I got in bed, and we weren't in that room 5 minutes, and the fire alarm started going off. And I'm saying, holy shit, what next? I said, don't panic, sweetheart. It's okay. I went up, felt the door. It's not hot on the outside. I said, okay. And then it was all clear. They apologized. It was kind of a mistake.
Jeez.
So it was all hey, what's going on?
How's everything going? What's new? Meeting?
Hey, sir. I'm good. Hi,
Oh, wait a
sir.
minute. He's filming you. I'm sorry, man.
You're in,
Did I get it?
you're in it now. So
Oh, yeah. How are you?
Thank you.
Sorry about
Let's
that.
go into the late night adult channel. It's okay.
You know what? I've seen you on there before. And you surprised me, Gil.
Man.
So it was, and then the next day he was back to work because then the real work started. So getting together for prosecution.
And the whole trial thing was just another whole ordeal. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.